Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey loves, our next Love Lounge Live Los Angeles is June 13th. It's a Saturday, 2026. Be sure to stay tuned for details. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. 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 Raise it up.
3, 2, 1.
Hey loves, hey loves, hey loves. My name is Wyann Vaughn. I also go by Y, and you are tuned in to another extraordinary celebratory episode of Raise It Up Y, the podcast. We are coming at you the final Thursday in the month of April. Oh, April, shower me with your love. Hey, and girl, I'll give you all the love I have inside this heart of mine. And boy, I swear that I'll be here for you forever and all time. Oh, I missed that album. I'm so sorry. Yep. Birthday month, April 2026. In an episode we are majestically calling, oh, it's a gold standard, baby. Gold standard. You will understand that as we continue to go and grow. Okay, she's a singing girl tonight. I get it. I got you. We all good. For everyone who is familiar with this place, welcome back. Welcome back, right? All of you who are new to this space, once again, my name is Wyann Vaughn, also going by Y, and you are now rocking with the coolest kids on the World Wide Web or wherever you could be watching and learning about us, all right? Raise It Up Y, the podcast, is where OGs kick game to real ones only. We do this with hip-hop culture, specifically from the West Coast. Non-corny at that. From here all the way to the world. And when we say we are raising things up, we are raising up your self-awareness, your vibration, and your capacity for love, which is knowledge. All right? This is 5 episodes away from episode 100. I hear a lot of podcasts don't make it to the 100th episode. And because I only come out once a month, this has been years. Some other people do this in a couple years, maybe 1 or 2. You understand me? But nah, she's dedicated. She's dedicated, but she goes slow and she's low. But we get there. Oh man, that was, now I remember what the other Wyann's words of wisdom was going to be. Right as I said that, ooh, I might have to bake it in. That going slow. I think I can. I think I can. All right. So boom, bap like that. All right. So boom, check her out. The walk up slowly. I just embedded this into the Wyann's words of wisdom. If you can hear me typing, walk up slowly, meaning, ooh, yeah, which is a part of my new gold standard. She on some brand new shit. Hey, get off my brand new D. Okay. Yeah, she's a singing girl today. For everyone watching on YouTube or wherever else you can watch this broadcast, thank you so much for your non-refundable time and energy. If you are a love listener, thank you also for being a part of this space, because as I understand it, faith comes by hearing, and I haven't met a human who can unhear anything yet. So it's a blessed place and space in which to be. If you are consuming Raise It Up Y, the podcast, wherever it can be listened to from, that's 2 prepositions that you're never supposed to end a sentence with. Count them, 2. And also, if you are a love onlooker, and watching the show of this podcast, then you're seeing this beautiful set that was put together by my team. 13 presents ... Sue What It Do is a cup of Sue What It Do is definitely at work right now. Happily too. That's revisionist history. I'm saying that she's happy, right? And then of course Easy_Ashay is right behind that camera A right there. So let's ground this episode, get into some cool shit, and be a part of who we are this whole episode. All right. Grounding is separating the type of time you was on right before you consumed this podcast to where you are now. For those of you who may not know, I am a therapeutic edutainer, right? A therapeutic edutainer. And this is a form of, well, not a form. This is a tool utilized within therapy to, make sure you're very present where you are, right? I do it like a poem because, of course, the tainer part of edutainer is for entertainment. And if you are listening to this podcast and operating heavy machinery, I will not invite you to close your eyes. However, for everyone else listening and feeling safe enough to do so, I invite you to close your eyes and take a moment. Be here with me. Hear my voice. Feel your feet, wiggle your toes, bring your awareness up through your body and touch your nose. And you're just doing that silly stuff just to recognize you are here. Breathe the breath in, blow a breath out. Do it again, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Take a moment, really own this. This is a miracle we call life. That you're breathing and winning just by living this life, just by spending this time with my voice right now. You're investing into your betterment. And I'd like you to sit with that and feel proud. And let's go up. I know you all know that we are doing Raise 'em Ups first all this year because we are exploring love's cousins. This Raise 'em Up will be followed up by a Break It Down, which we haven't yet done in this year. Break It Down is where I uncover the already existing genius in hip hop culture. And then we're going to do some Wyann's Words of Wisdom, pay some dues, and get up out of here. All right? Type. So walk with me, huh? Raise 'em Up. Right here is where I get to edutain. If you've never experienced me in a classroom, this is as close as it's going to get for you. All right. And this year I'm edutaining about Love's Cousins. First episode of 2026 was called Love's Cousins because in it, we started making contact with aspects of love that aren't love, that without these aspects, healthy love is impossible. I'll say that again. Love's cousins are parts of a loving relationship that without these parts, healthy love is non-existent. We've looked at values. We've looked at accountability. We've looked at commitment. And this episode, RESPCT, find out what it means to me. RESPCT, take care of CPT, which is Compton or colored people time. Oh, suck it to me, little respect. Suck it to me, suck it to me. Oh, yeah. Oh, you wouldn't seen that action. Hold on. Hey. She lost weight and got a bigger push-up bra. So I still look like it's double D's out here. Type shit. I'm trying not to yell in y'all ears this episode. Okay? Don't let her get me. If Easy starts to play, I'll get way too excited in this mug. So, hello, all my new students that might be listening. I'm so sorry. It's my birthday episode. I'm feeling away. She's 44 and can still drop it to the floor. Type shit. All right, so let's go. So, respect. It's important that we talk about respect when we're talking about love and we're looking at things like love culture. And here's why. The third tenet of love culture, if you guys don't know, love culture is the community of folks that support this podcast and all things Wyann Vaughn. Well, maybe not all things Wyann Vaughn, but like a lot of the consumer facing things. Yeah. What you can see. No. And love culture has three tenets, three aspects that make it love culture. One, love culture roots itself by participating in and listening to Raise It Up Why the podcast, right? So I just spoke on this at the Love Lounge that we just did this past week. If you're unfamiliar, on my @Wyanna page, WYANNA, which is like more my artist page. It has like 6 times the followership of my Raise It Up Why the podcast page because it was created way earlier and all sorts of stuff. However, on that page, we catch a lot of people who may not be familiar with Raise It Up Why. And on purpose, I wanted to do live streams about content for the podcast so that people who may not be familiar with what we do already in the podcast space can have access to all of the dope content and conversations that love culture community has within itself as a result of chewing through topics that might be a little dense brought up here on the podcast. So it's almost like why you attend class instead of just reading the lectures or looking online or doing online learning, because sometimes interpersonally and hearing other people's contrasting opinions helps you gain a sense of understanding. So if you've never been to Love Tuesdays on a West Coast Wednesday, on my @Wyanna, WYANNA Instagram page, Wednesday nights, usually around between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's just because I got to see what LA traffic is talking about. Really it's 7:30, but randomly we catch more people when I go later. And I feel like we're going to lose all our East Coast loves, but they be up. It's so weird. Anyways, Mama's Teresa's goes to bed. Like my Mama's Teresa's is our one of our love culture members who is good and grown. We're gonna say she is a grandmother. She was my mom's fan first, the Emotions fan, but then she heard me popping my shiznit and she was like, I like this young girl. So now she's a part of love culture community. So she'll tell me over in Kentucky, she'll be like, kiddo, I tried to wait up for you. You went you went and made it at 8:30 and I had to go to bed. I'm a grandmother. I gotta go to bed. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. However, other people like Tony Foster and his wife, Jackie Jo Foster, when I go later, they'd be like, oh, perfect. We got you. And I'm like, well, damn. And they're both Central Standard. Both of them are in the Central Standard Time. So it's so odd. But anyways, that's the beauty of all this stuff. But this is trying to like, it's tickling my ear now. For everyone that doesn't know, if you're not on looking, my hair has been pressed out and done by my girl Hair by Quista on Instagram. And with all this new length and curls, it's curling into my ear on my left side. Camera B is catching it very quickly and nicely, and it's tickling my ear while I'm talking. So I'm trying to remain focused, but I'm hella distracted. Okay, she's back. Anyways, so love culture roots itself by listening to Raise It Up Why the podcast. That's number one. Number two, love culture does good for no good reason. And you'll hear about that in the Pay Your Dues. You'll hear about what some of love culture's little dividends and love badges from Instagram went towards helping people in our community. So I can't wait to tell that to you guys. And then number three, and this what I want y'all to hear when it comes to this respect cousin of love. We treat all red-blooded humans with love and respect. That's the third tenet of Raise It Up Why's support community, love culture. We treat all red-blooded humans with love and respect. As we started to fine-tune in this culture, I started asking people, and during that live stream on this past Wednesday, I asked the loves, how do you know when you're in a relationship with a work partner, a friendship partner, a love partner, how do you know when you're in a relationship where respect is present? What does that feel like? And because your brain is the first computer, I can ask it any question and it's going to start computing. So I'm asking all my listeners right now, my onlookers even, take a beat. Think about that. What comes up for you when you feel respected? When you're in a relationship where you're respected or where respect is present, what are some of the ways you feel? And folks in love culture were responding to that. Specifically, shouts out to Jalisa, it's J, a bunch of underscores, Jalisa. And she is around the Jamlock clique, can sing really well. She's on Andre Mego's album. She's on some projects for Jamla artists like Swank and Draft and stuff with Ninth Wonder and everything. Shouts out to all my NC boys. But Jalisa said, when I feel respected, I feel considered in a relationship. And I said, that's fun because I feel considered in loving relationships. She's like, well, yeah, it's kind of like the same. So I'm asking other people now, Andre Mego, Oned Ashe, underscore Ashe. I'm asking people like, wait, so what is separating love and respect for you? And you and I will be listening to and talking about some of what Merriam hyphen Webster is saying in some of these definitions. Because we can throw around this stuff and it kind of like double dutches onto itself. But I think it's important to decipher where love is, where respect is, and how they overlap. So compare and contrast. Shouts out to Mrs. Carroll from my 8th grade pre-algebra. If you're randomly listening, that's where we had to do that in class, and I would kind of get A's and stuff type. Respect is a positive feeling of admiration or esteem for a person, action, or quality, along with treating others with consideration and courtesy. It involves valuing someone's rights, feelings, or views and acknowledging their worth. Usage and examples of respect include showing respect for elders, paying respects with someone like maybe passes, and in this respect, like in this regard. And speaking of regard, synonyms include esteem, regard, admiration, difference. Remember that one, difference, and appreciation. Appreciation. Respect has some key aspects: admiration, consideration, compliance, and self-respect. Admiration means acknowledging good qualities, achievements, or skills. Consideration includes treating people with dignity. Oh, one of my values. And valuing their perspectives. Compliance means following rules or honor. Oh, honor. Honoring what? Boundaries. What's this episode called? Gold standards. There's a gold standard around my way. Respecting the law, respecting privacy, things like that. And then the last aspect of respect is self-respect. Valuing oneself, which is often a foundation for showing respect to others. I can't remember if it was Heidi Priebe or Michael Todd that also said respect can mean, in certain regards, in certain respects, to look again. And that makes sense for me because to look again, it kind of means that you regard something or you take a different consideration for something. So you might think you have the answers to something, and then you take another look, take a second thought to reevaluate, to reassess, to consider differently. So now, real quick, I want to play with this concept for love. Because the third aspect of love culture is to love and respect all red-blooded humans, right? So love, different from respect, is a profound, multifaceted emotion and action characterized by deep affection, commitment, and care, often involving prioritizing another's well-being. And what Onette and I were talking about before we started potting was when we say prioritizing someone's well-being, it's not necessarily over oneself, because I don't believe that that's the way that they mean it, but rather you want to prioritize. You will probably, if you care for someone and you love someone, you will prioritize their well-being over like a room full of people. The person you have more care, admiration, affection for, you will probably esteem or consider their well-being over others in the room type shit, right? So key aspects of love, different from respect. Key aspects of love, different from respect. Actionable care, meaning you can't just tell me you love me. It has to show up. We have to see that. Telling me you love me and ghosting and then coming back 3 months later, you know I still love you. That's a pipe dream. That's just you talking. That's not love, right? Type. There's a biological drive in love, meaning you can be lusty. There's the testosterone, estrogen version of love. There's an attraction where love is concerned, and that can give you a dopamine hit. Dopamine is that thing that you strive for, almost like a drug, when someone is liking your pictures. Why people want to pitch their content for virality, because it's like a reward system. Dopamine is letting you know, like, oh shit, I'm her. I'm him. All right. That's attraction where love is concerned. Also, norepinephrine, which is your stress result, your fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. All of that comes up and is triggered when there's attraction. That's why your heart starts to race when you are in like with someone, or you recognize you like someone and your crush comes to sit next to you. Ooh, wee, type. And then there's attachment. The attachment aspect of a biological drive where love is concerned, where oxytocin, what they call the love hormone, or the hormone that is activated when physical touch is involved, when you hug with someone, when you cuddle with someone, when you big spoon, little spoon with someone, that is releasing oxytocin. And what's this other word? Onette, vasopressin. I know Whitney, if she watches this episode with my niece Winter, she's going to be like, vasopressin, because she's the nurse, and Warren, they know all this stuff like so well. And I'm like, And it's what regulates your system, the water and the blood pressure in your system. So those are very physical aspects of love that are really happening, whether you have lusty feelings for someone, attraction feelings for someone, or attachment feelings for someone. All right. Also, a third component of love, there are types of love, encompassing everything from companionate love, like a friend, compassionate love, like a tenderness and a care, and then agape love, like a universal love for everyone. And the last aspect of love is connection and vulnerability. Connection and vulnerability, where trust, vulnerability, and creating safe spaces are concerned, right? You want to make sure that, this is where I say in episodes previous, talking about vulnerability, if you are impervious to someone's relationship with you, I would wager you're not in real love. If you are impervious, impenetrable If you gives a fuck whether the person is there or not, it literally doesn't change shit in your world, I wager you're not in love. Love in and of itself has risk involved, and that's what they're talking about in that version of love. In that version of love, where vulnerability and things are concerned, this person has the ability to wreck your shit. Dysregulate you. You are susceptible and affected when this person is or is not around. That means you are open to the influence of love in your life. And I love that for us. I love that for you. It's scary because if that love goes away, it changes you. It affects your nervous system, your oxytocin levels and norepinephrines and your vas deferens, all those, they get sent into space and they get wacky because you were regulating and co-regulating with that person, and it matters that they were there, right? That's how you know that you had love in your life. And I love that I smile when I think about that and talk about that, because there's nothing better than being affected by love. If you close yourself off, it doesn't just, I'm coming back to the word respect, right? And what I want to ask you and have your brain compute right now, if you had to make a big difference between when you know you're in a love relationship and when you're in a respect relationship, what key aspect do you think makes the difference? I'll wait. The question is that I'm asking you, what key aspect do you think differentiates your experience with someone where there's love or where there's actual respect? Onette and I were talking about this, and it was a really good conversation because she brought up, well, I can respect my boss, right? I can respect their stature. I can respect where they are. And that goes back to compliance, respecting law and stuff like that, or admiration of someone's skill or achievement, right? So when I'm in class with Dr. Sean, I respect his doctoral level where I have a master's degree. I respect that, you know, in the class, and it's beautiful. Even future Dr. Theory, as my TA, is earning his post-grad degree while at USC with us. And there's an admiration and a clear compliance of, hey, if one of our words has to be respected in this room, it might be Doc Sean's. He also has tenure and like meaning like years upon years over me in that class. So when that comes online, it's like I will defer to his judgment because I respect his experience. You know what I'm saying? Does that mean I love Dr. Sean? Now, Dr. Sean is my homeboy. So yes, I love Dr. Sean. And yes, I love future Dr. Theory. I love these men. But does that mean everyone who has a degree over me or more time at the college, do I love them? That would be the wrong answer. and it's because I don't have care for them. Right. I don't care. I don't know you. Right. I have to know you to love you. Right. That's why think about what we talk about for the pod. We're expanding your capacity for love, which is knowledge. Mm-hmm. You can't love who or what you don't know. Right. My little brother's now wife, as a girlfriend, she was like, when I first came around, you didn't like me. I said, girl, I didn't know you. I said the same thing about Whitney's husband, my baby sister's husband. I didn't know that man. And what you have to understand about the histories of Whitney and Warren's datings is there were people that didn't mean them the most well. And the way that big sister Wyann like shows up for them and shows my love and reverence for them is I can become overprotective because love will make my physiology change such that if I see someone coming up next to them and the last person hurt them in real ways, now I got to see who you are. Mm-hmm. And I liked the last person. I gave the last person my love off rip. Now I got to have discernment because I don't know you. So I don't love you. I respect that my sibling chose you, but I don't know you. Now they're my brother and my sister-in-law. Of course I love them. And of course they're my family now. You know what I'm saying? But it took time, consideration, but I respected them before I loved them. Do you get me?
Yes.
I respected them and my siblings' choices to bring them in our lives. I respected that. Yeah. Wyann's attachment to them had to grow with time. That had my own relationship has to bond with you before I can say I love you. Yeah. I think that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. So I believe, Andre Mago, if you're listening, we had this talk the other day while I was walking at USC. I believe that the key may be component different, and y'all can tell me differently in the comments if you feel something separately. I think that the major difference between experiencing love and respect for someone is the level of care. I think it's the level of care. I think care is the differentiator. Yeah. I think it's the different component. Yeah. And like I say, y'all let me know. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. Oh yeah. So why I bring this up, where love culture is concerned and where love in general is concerned, and I make sure that we have these differentiating conversations, really going back to the compliance piece. Love culture is for everybody, but not anybody. There are certain differentiators for who can be a part of any group. Think of religion. You have to have certain beliefs online before you can be considered Christian versus Catholic versus Islamic and other types of modes for connecting with divinity. If you think of being a part of a community college here in California versus a Cal State versus a University of California versus USC. Each of those different facilities, they all have different compliances. And like they say, college, school is for everybody. Opposite day. It's for anybody, but not everybody. So it's for anybody. Anybody can apply to college. Everybody won't get in. And if everybody that gets in, everyone won't stay. Anybody, let's opposite day this from earlier so I can amend what I said. Anybody can find themselves in love culture. Everybody won't stay. Mm-hmm. And because of that, I make the distinction between what do you consider yourself to be as a love, because what you got to understand, y'all, we're talking about love and respect. You've seen the word respect in classrooms since you were a kid. We will respect the classroom. One of the class, little rules on the, we respect ourselves and others. Until I just read that definition, respect is a word that just kind of like means a lot of things, but it maybe shows up differently in your world. Because I say, what does respect look like to you? For some people, respect in a relationship looks like, oh, I can go these places, but I can't go those places. Respect to somebody else, oh, my girl could wear those types of outfits, but not those types of outfits. Respect for another still might be, oh, we get to sleep with these kinds of people, or we're monogamous and we don't do none of that extra curricular stuff. Just because we all say the word respect and we understand its definition doesn't mean that it shows up for each of us the same. So while you're looking to be in love culture, while you're looking to be in a relationship with others, romantically, familially, work-wise, friendly, you have to take a good look at, well, what does healthy relationship in this regard look like to and for me? Those are your boundaries. Establishing boundaries is your gold standard. And I'm telling you, every relationship you embark upon, every relationship you continue to learn from prayerfully, should fine tune your expectations, your expectancies within a relationship. First for yourself. First for yourself. You cannot expect another to show up for you in a way they aren't evidenced to show up for themselves. Listen to the words. Before I can understand how you can show up for me in respect, before I know whether you have appropriate boundaries by my standard for how I want to be treated, I have to take a step back and look at how you treat you. How do you consider you? How do you comply with you? What does your relationship with you tell me about how you can be with me? If you're a person who can treat me better than you treat you, it's only a matter of time before how you treat yourself is going to show up in how you treat me. Type. I can't make it up. It's not, I can't argue about this with nobody because words know how to lie. Behavior doesn't. And if you and your behavior towards yourself is my baseline until I learn how you are in relationship with me, I have to use your relationship with yourself as an indicator of how you'll be in relationship with me. If you're one for breaking your own commitments, breaking your own heart, self-sabotaging, all by yourself and without me, matter of time. Matter of time before it's my reality with you. Type. So let's look at that conversation about respect meaning to look again. Ladies, I know you might like him and you want to be in that relationship with him. Oh, he cute, ain't he? Type. Gents, you see her. You see what it do. It wiggle when it waggle. Ha! You want it. It's good. Also, check the boundaries. Check how your nervous system feels when you're next to them. That's a boundary. If you feel like you're walking on eggshells when you're with them, that's a check engine light. Respect your own boundary. You got to respect you in that situation. She can't set your precedent for you. She can't set your boundary for you. Ladies, he can't set his boundary for you to keep you safe. You have to assert yourself. One of the biggest reasons people are disrespectful towards others is because they've made a covenant. They have a pact within themselves that they will overtly and intrinsically disrespect themselves. They don't value what they got cracking on their own without money involved, without a title involved, without virality involved, without likes and dopamine clicks and hits involved, without sexual dopamine hits and oxytocin and getting that orgasm off. I'm trying to tell you. Ride slow, homie. You never know, homie. You got to pump your brakes and ride slow, homie. Let's get into a break it down, because break it down is where I uncover the already existing genius in hip hop culture. And let me tell you something. There's a couple things I want to talk about with respect and my new gold standard. And just having a gold standard that actually started last year, May 1. And I know by the time this episode comes out, I'll be listening to my own little May 1 anniversary with myself. It's my OPA anniversary as well. Shouts out to Cara. Shouts out to P. The thing is this. Remember rapping Duke, da-ha, you never thought the hip hop would take it this far. Biggie Smalls said, in uncovering the genius in hip hop culture for this episode, I wanted to talk about my experience being a hip hop professor, now about to close out my second year teaching at USC and some of the discoveries I've made over this past year. And what I will say is, I enjoy being an instructor who really does this hip hop shit, this rap shit, however you want to look at it, with or without a camera, a lens, a platform, or a classroom to take this in. I only wanted to be one occupation before a musician, and that was a magician. 8 years old. Talk to her nicely. The year was 1990. Type. Okay. NWA was going crazy. My little brother was just about to be born while I was just about to turn 8. Okay. We're talking about Super Nintendo coming out. We're talking about Yoshi and Mario and shit. You understand me? I think it was Yoshi's World or something like that. Like, it was like, you couldn't even fly with Yoshi yet, by the way. Onette, you're so young. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing I'm talking about. Anyways, you never thought the hip hop would take it this far. I bring that up because there's a parallel in what I've learned in this gold standard I've created for myself, and being this edutainer, this therapeutic edutainer in a prestigious higher education space. I love truly doing me in my classroom and bringing authentic hip hop into my classroom, meaning I bring folks, artists, producers, execs, others. Just the other day we had a Soul Train, one of the original LA Soul Train dancers. And one of my students asked, what was one of your favorite parts about being on Soul Train? Shouts out to Marco de Santiago, if I'm not mistaken, is his full name. But Dr. Sean brought him in. Thank you, Dr. Sean. He knows my cousin Shanice. He was at her birthday party and all this stuff. One of my students asked, authentically, what was one of your favorite moments in your tenure? Because he was there from the 70s to the 90s. So he got to see hip hop come in, and he exposed his experience to how all the dancers were kind of like, what is this? Like, they were literally discovering rap music in real time. Hip hop culture with Rapper's Delight in real time. So I just thought it was such an interesting perspective where he was coming from. But I bring that up because authentically, one of my hip hop music and culture students asked him, what was one of your favorite moments? And he walked up the class, because I was in the back. The back of the class is warm. My hair was cold. I couldn't stay in the front of the class. He comes all the way up and he said, one of my favorite moments was when this young lady's mom and her sisters, the Emotions, came, and I got to watch them sing Don't Ask My Neighbor and Best of My Love up close. He said, I couldn't believe how pretty they were. I called my mommy and she was like, she said, oh, wait, are you talking about me? Like, she was like, who's pretty? Me? I said, mother, yes, it's you. You're pretty. And she was like, oh, thank you. Then you got the best of my life. She starts going, of course, the whole class. But wow, you never thought that hip hop could take it that far, right? Also in that class, he spoke about like the idea of twerking and stuff like that. This week was called If I Move, You Move, Just Like That. I named all of my, every week under my syllabus is named some lyric of hip hop, from hip hop culture. And that's from Ludacris, clearly. But the idea is, on Tuesday, we talked about the, movements and different stuff and how this music hits you, how it makes you feel. All of hip hop started because a DJ played music and people were dancing. The B-boy, B-girl aspect of hip hop is so real. And I know that in today's culture, we talk a lot about the lyricism or the production and what it feels like and monetization. And, there's a lot of different conversations, but this stuff started because shit felt good in your body and you moved accordingly. And it's interesting because Marco had very strong feelings about twerking. And on Tuesday, I had just told the students, you know, to be careful of what you judge when it comes to dance, because twerking is not authentically West. It's not authentically East. It's more from Southern music and culture, but really it has origins in the Afro-diasporic spaces, whether you look at the Trinidad and Carnival and all those places, or how you look at Jamaicans and the Jamaica Dance Fest and dance hall and, you know, ziggas, and you see people doing like grinding and stuff like that, what looks like that. And, you know, what I told my students on Tuesday was be careful of putting Westerners, Americanized, completely different from where those origins come from, eyes on their movements and calling it something. Because some of the students is like, well, that looks raunchy. That looks this and that. Okay, yeah. And to them, you look like a stick in the mud. Type. If we just judging, let's go. You understand? But like, I also explained to them what first position in ballet and other European cultures look like versus in African dance, which we used to do at Ujima. First position looks like you're about to give birth. First position looks like when your knees are bent, your feet are out at, let's say, if this were a clock on the floor, 10 and 2, and you look like you're about to pick cotton. So imagine being in fields, picking, humming to yourself, and bobbing. That looks like the origin of twerking. It's a concept completely different from a Eurocentric, Westernized, Americanized place. So be careful about what you start calling stuff. So then all of that to say, then on Thursday, here comes our good friend Marco. And he was like, man, he doesn't cuss. I'm being very performative and dramatic when I say this. But he was like, man, fuck twerking. He didn't say that. He's so diplomatic and cool. I love that dude. No, but he just had such a contrasting opinion. And he's a dancer that's actually trained, and he's a dancer that, you know, spoke about whacking, and whacking is an evolution of pop locking, and that's how when hip hop came to the West, that's stuff that we did that the East Coast wasn't doing, the South was not doing. It's really intrinsic to us, sort of a thing. So I guess I say all that to say, I love the authenticity of the contrast of those moments. We're just on Tuesday, and just on Thursday, man, fuck that. I also love authentically showing up to that class, whether it's our good friend Marco from the Soul Train Dancing, or whether it's Terrace Martin talking about To Pimp a Butterfly stories. And when people come in there and they be like, nah, fuck that shit, and they really say, nah, fuck that shit, I don't allow nothing. People are who they are. If it's real hip hop and I bring it to class, it's real. I say that because hip hop was hip hop before higher ed thought we were cool enough to study. If we became as we are known now from the Bronx in 1973, and hip hop studies didn't start being a thing until the last maybe 15 years. We got decades of being ourselves. And a healthy, in my opinion, a healthy respect for hip hop looks like sticking to the script and never changing up. And that's a lyric from Snoop Dogg. Keep it real, motherfucker, stay gangsted up. I mean, like, we walk in as we are. If someone hears our lyricism, if someone sees a part of our history and needs us to tuck that in order to show up in higher ed, that's called false flagging. That's being duplicitous. That's not respecting what something is. That's asking something to be different so it can fit in the box you've created it to be. And I'm here to tell you, if we're talking about gold standards, that ain't it. That is not it. If you have to switch up to be in a place, leave the place. Now, being your full you, being your full, if you've been in situations where you haven't been respected, relationships, work relationships, anywhere, if you've been in situations where you haven't been respected, my question has to start with, are you moving in a way that's self-respecting? If you are, check. All right, cool. Are you being you to the fullest? Because you might be in a place that respects you but doesn't accept you. Right? So the way I am on my social media, the way I am as a person, I feng shui with a bunch of self-respect online, right? I lost a lot of weight recently, so and not just recently, I've always been about body positivity, because when I was a younger girl, I didn't see women who looked like me, who were as confident as me, without it being like, oh, she has to be trying to lose weight, or you had to be a very much more voluptuous woman, and then there was pride for that person. I'm like, well, what about the chick in between? I didn't get to see a lot of women that were heralded that weren't supermodel thin. I'm talking about the 90s when I was growing up. Supermodel thin, or self-pride having, but they were more shaped, curvaceously, voluptuously, and in some cases overweight, but still having pride about themselves, right? And especially if you're looking at hip hop, I'm looking at the whole gamut from Foxy Brown when she first comes out to Missy Elliott. Foxy Brown is a very thin woman as she's come out when she first comes out, and Missy Elliott was always a thicker woman. I was always looking for Yo-Yo, my sister from the West. I didn't see her enough. To me, you had MC Light, you had Queen Latifah. You know what I'm saying? I was looking for that middle ground. You know what I'm saying? And I love representing what I didn't see. It's a part of my gold standard, and is. So as a result of that, I'm letting it be known that we'll keep going for now. I'll wrap it. So as a result of that, similar to dating, you existed before someone discovered you. Hip hop existed before higher ed discovered us. Wyann Vaughn existed before I set foot on any college campus, any of them that I taught at. Places that respect you, respect that. And places that can accept you in all of your valor, those are places that you want to be. And that's a part of the gold standard. Let's get into some YN words of wisdom, if you don't mind, ladies and gents. This will be short and sweet because I think my my production team is telling me that it has to be. Type. All right. Hey, 44. In the door, kicked in the door, and now she's 4'4". All you heard was, don't hit me no more. Type. At 44, we are doing less and being more. At 44, we are doing less and being more. What does that mean? Taking up space is only cute when you're being, not doing. Taking up space is only cute when you're being, not doing. There's a line in Kendrick's, well, there's a part of Kendrick's song that I'm probably most audible on To Pimp a Butterfly. You ain't got a lie to kick it, my nigga. You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to lie to kick it, my nigga. You ain't got to try so hard. And there's a part that says, asking where the hoes at to impress me. Asking where the money bags to impress me. Say you got the burner stash to impress me. It's all in your head, homie. Asking where the plug at to impress me. Asking where the jug at to impress me. Asking where it's at only upsets me. You sound like the feds, homie. You do too much. Some people, when they're in relationship with people they respect highly, they do too much. Your nervous system gets the best of you. You become dysregulated. That's how guys can be with the girl of their dreams and fumble the ball. That's how people can talk themselves out of having good sex. Because you fumble the ball. You get too excited. You start to talk yourself out of a good time, out of a good moment. And woo wham, here you now are going to bed without some good loving next to you type. I want you to know doing is performing in relationship, even with yourself. Well, I know I love myself. I do this and I do that. And don't get me wrong. Love is an action. So you have to show up for yourself. That's journaling and showing up to therapy and showing up even when it's tough to love, showing forgiveness and practicing resilience, repair after rupture. Those are ways that you can evidently show up and do in those ways. But if you think that by going to every event, kissing all the babies, being everywhere that somebody is, making it to every studio session, going to all of the doing all of the stuff, if you think that that is how you need to be in order to be loved or respected, it's a performance. I'm sorry. I want to educate you on that so you don't find yourself in a situation where you didn't anticipate being in, right? These are the people that tithe because they think it'll get them into heaven, like God has an admission fee. These are the people that are going to work out because they think they'll look better in pictures, not to honor their body. Okay? When you do less, you're allowed to be more. Be means exist. You are allowed to exist more. So when I need you to take up space, it's not because I need you to be the loudest one in the room. It's not because I need you to talk to all the girls and you have to be with everybody and that's how we know you're a real one. No. Do less. Be more. And a part of that being more is literally just existing more. Meditate more. Rest more. Me and God had a conversation. God told me, to the extent that you rest is to the extent that you either trust me or know that I am God. So if you feel like you have to be your rescuer, your savior, if you have to go and do, where do you leave me room to show you that I got your back? Trust me. Why? Rest. It's like, ooh, talk to me nice, God. But I say that because I want you all to realize that in all of this time that we have here on earth, we spend a lot of it learning how to perform, how to achieve, how to look good on the outside and be empty on the inside. And at 44, no. And especially where relationship is concerned, I've been in the habit of walking up slowly. And I say that because in my walk up slow, I get to see someone be more than they are doing. I get to see someone be more than they are doing. And as a result, I get to learn where their light is in respect to mine. They say fools rush in. If you rush into love, you don't know if the light you recognize out of someone else is their own, or in what I've been discovering by my new gold standard. Sometimes I look up and see a bunch of light radiating off of a person that I might have an affinity for, only to recognize that they're like a moon. And what's happening is I'm seeing my light bounce off of them and back into my own cognizance. And I'm looking and saying, damn, they're fucking dope. Damn, I like them. Not realizing like, no, Wyann, you like you. you like being loved. You like being seen, not in a way that's viral, but in an intimate way. You like how much you share and you show up and you are compassionate. You're loving you. Walk up slowly to these people. Whoever you think you're in love with, relationally, for a job, for a friend, for attachment, for a loving relationship. Walk up slowly. Be sure that the light you see radiating off of them is coming from them, not bouncing off of you, right? And that's a part of my big lesson starting 44 that I learned in 43 about doing less and being more. And before I get up and mother love and go. As she goes, Pay Your Dues is the portion of the podcast where I let you know about people, places, companies that I feel are doing good for no good reason, and you should know about them. And this is completely just because it's a part of the do good for no good reason, which is why I'm putting them on blast and on Front Street. Number one, since the beginning of my pod days, at I Love the DOUX. I love to do more than you knew. My cousin, Maya Smith, is the MC, master of curl, and the founder of the Do products. You can find them all over the US, also at thedo.com. I've personally used today the Do drops to get that little shine that I like on my hair. Also a little bit of if you stay ready. I gotta put some little flyaways in place with that, and I ain't got to get ready. Period. Number two, at Spread Please. I had my little birthday get together there. A bunch of folks got together at Spread Please in El Segundo, California. And man, we had such a good time. I got cake thrown in my face. I won't go to any more of my birthday parties fresh-faced, because my good friend, Mr. D, as my students know him, took the cake that Love Mida purchased me with her own flesh and blood money and just a good human, and in front of her sons, Adrian and Aaron, splatted a piece of what is it, tres leches cake in my freaking face. And then my girl P from at OPA_collection, she said, oh my gosh, oh baby, look what they did to you. Then she takes some of the icing off my chin and puts it directly on my nose. And she's like, now it's good. I'm like, and this is what friends are. That's what friends are for. Like, what? So yes, Spread Please, Oliver, Max, thank you guys for hosting us. Everybody said that food was amazing, but not like I didn't know. And Onette, you are off. You're fast. You will be coming. You'll be coming to get the best smash burger in Los Angeles. Oh, speaking of Onette, at number 3, Haroni Dot Arrangements. She has created for me this beautiful arrangement with my favorite color, the Aries color, this red with my little daisies, my little yellow interior and white exterior. I love this arrangement. It is playful. It is cute. In my little hooray, it's your day. I love that vase. And setting on top of it is, like we said, number 4, OPA collection, and really OPA_collection. Really, number 4 is always about love culture, and I love what we did for at T Tate Music, at Tatiana Tate, with love culture backing, and you know we do good for no good reason. Our girl Tatiana Tate got to trumpet for the Dodgers in an amazing way, and as she did, unfortunately with virality, also the freaks come out at but like negative people came out. You don't just attract positive from a good moment. You can also attract its opposite, which is negative. And she experienced a lot of online bullying and things that you don't normally come up against when you're just so used to being in your bubble and curating your audience your way. So once you go viral and you invite so many new people in that you can't respectively show who's who, she was like, I needed a little bit of she didn't tell me she needed some loving. I wanted to give her some loving, and we did. So she will be seeing what OPA_collection and love culture got together and got for her as a girl. We see you. You are the bomb.com present. We did good for no good reason, as we always do. And last but not least, at Raise It Up Y, RAISEITUPWY on all platforms. We did it, guys. I'm listening to my producer over here who is telling me if you don't shut that mouth, we aren't going to have any of this content. I love each of you. Y'all have a good one. Stay real, y'all. Boom clap.
Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up.